Douglas County prosecutor says he won a drug trafficking conviction for an innocent man. The former prosecutor, Ken Shigley, is now asking voters to make him an appeals court judge. 11 Alive's Doug Richards has more on what happened and why.
Sometimes you get a case that really shouldn't have been prosecuted.
Ken Shigley told an audience that as a prosecutor in a courtroom 40 years ago, he convicted a defendant whose case never should have gone to trial.
And it just began to smell bad in the middle of the trial. I did everything I could to lose it, but I couldn't.
Shigley describes the defendant as a young African-American man, a college student who got snared in a drug case around 1978. Shigley says he can't remember the defendant's name.
The jury convicted the guy. He appealed. I tried to lose the appeal. I couldn't. I tried to make the weakest case for the state I could.
Shigley is now asking voters to elect him to an appeals court judgeship.
Ken Hodges is the best choice for Court of Appeals judge.
His opponent is Ken Hodges, also a former prosecutor.
In the end, they have to do what's right. They have to.
Cobb County District Attorney Vic Reynolds says no prosecutor should try a case they feel should be dismissed.
If I had a prosecutor and he or she believed a case ought to be dismissed and they didn't move to dismiss it, then I would fire them.
I hope he went on and had a good life.
Shigley says he didn't dismiss the case because he was afraid he'd lose his first job out of college.
Hopefully, 40 years later, I have enough maturity to make a better choice than I did that day.
Shigley told me that he intended to tell a personal and cautionary story about real injustice. The question is whether voters Tuesday will make him pay for his honesty. Doug Richards, 11 Alive News.